ups and downs, we're not alone. This is our space where we've grown. Real talk, no filter, just the truth. Navigating life from the old to the youth.
We just have the power of not knowing how important we can spark innovation and fun.
We've got something for everyone.
That's what happens when I read titles. That's what I think of. What is freaking up? My name is Eve.
My name is Sarah.
And we are Burnt Out Perfectionist. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
It's Friday today.
It is Friday.
And today
For when we're recording.
Yeah.
Like you just wished us happy Monday and now we're confused.
I am lost. We're trying to book record because, March.
That's spring break. That's chaos with millions of other things and lots of events. So definitely book recording. Also, March is generally the time where I lose my voice and or sound like I have a million things shoved up my nose because my allergies are not the best.
True. Hopefully though, when you're hearing this, it's like, I think we're still in February. This is the last month in February.
I think so, yeah. Last month in February.
Next month.
Woo! Yeah. March is a-coming, everybody.
March is a-coming. It's the first week. We're officially 1 week down in February, and it's like, March is coming.
Yeah.
So we thought we would talk about, I don't know, I leaned back. Can you hear me?
Editing Sarah's like, Eve, sit up near your microphone.
January's come and gone. As I said last episode. I just keep on saying January's gone because my whole FYP was like, oh my god, day 168 in January, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
January, I don't know why. To me, it felt very long, and it's not like we've had a very mild winter where we actually are.
Yeah,
and it's not like it's been like some excruciating, like super cold freaking winter. Well, freezer February. I mean, it's the end of the month. I'm probably like, shut up, Sarah. Shut up, editing Sarah. Editing Sarah. The saying, shut up, present day Sarah on February 7th because it's -30 outside or something ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Not that much snow, which I feel like
I'm getting glitter snow at my house right now.
I love glitter snow.
I love it. Like it's basically, it looks like plastic Hallmark snow that they like throw around or using like a snow thrower. It's pretty, but it's hilarious because it looks like a winter wonderland where I am and where Eve is, which is like 15 minutes apart.
Yep.
Just looks like it's winter.
It doesn't even look like it's winter.
No.
Like it looks like it's
your
sunny.
street specifically is like the land that the street forgot. So you guys actually have a dusting of snow?
Yeah.
A dusting. It's like the powdered sugar of snow.
What is your survive or thrive of the past few days?
Oh, well, my thrive is this morning I was able to attend a school function thing for like an hour because Eve was awesome and hung out with our brother. So it was fun. I got to talk to like other people and like change up a Friday routine. And then my survive, I just cannot fall asleep lately. And I know this is a common like one for me.
But like, it's gonna be a sleep doctor. That's gonna be like, Jesus.
Hey, if you're a sleep doctor and you want to consult, come on the pod, talk about moms with issues, talks about health care workers with sleeping issues, talking about people with ADHD and how to deal with it. We would happily welcome you. We'd have to figure out the logistics, but we would be so happy to have like a mini consultation because I'm one of two ways. I am either out like when I put my kid to bed, or I am up until like 12 or 1 in the morning sometimes. And someone's like, get off your phone and doom scroll. No, literally, if I bore myself, I'll fall asleep faster. That's the whole thing. It's like just like flicking through and they're like, what if there's engaging content? I don't know. There's something about just like the video. Sometimes I put on like a YouTube video. My husband puts on Family Feud. And I'm always just like, oh, he must be asleep. And then there's Steve Harvey next to me just yakking away asking things. But yeah, what's yours?
My thrive.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of which one I wanted to do first. I was like, survive, thrive. How am I feeling? It's not positive. My thrive is I got a popcorn maker today. I'm very excited because I bought the ingredients to make movie theater popcorn.
Which is the best. If you haven't tried I think it's like Nutrivia.
It's basically coconut oil flavored, like buttery flavored coconut oil.
Yeah.
And it's like Flavorall is like the popcorn seasoning.
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to make it taste like it's from a movie theater. I love movie theater popcorn. If I ever want on like The Masked Singer, I would be a piece of movie theater popcorn.
Oh, 100%.
My Survive. I feel like my Survive was I haven't been able to like get into any shows, and then last night Sweet Magnolias came back for season 4, and now like my Survive turned into a Thrive.
Which is such a great like reminder because I was like, oh my God, is it out? You're like, yeah. There was another show that was coming out in the next like 2 or 3 days that I was like, oh, I should watch that. Do I remember what it is? Nope.
Ginny and Georgia.
No,
We're
I don't
back.
watch that show.
The Voice is back.
I already watched that on your thing. Mom PVRs The Voice and then leaves it on for me.
Yeah, I know. What other shows you? Currently has a Sweet Magnolias same song stick one. I can't think of any other ones. Night Agent's been out for a while.
Oh yeah.
The Recruit. It has Noah Centineo in it. Season 2 came out.
Maybe that's what my husband was talking about. Because he's like, you know that guy from that movie series? And I was like, yeah, no. I have no idea.
No, it's not now. I'm trying to think of any other ones have come out. It's gone. Stranger Things is supposed to come out this year.
It's in like July well, they said summer 2025, but I think they officially said July.
Watch them say it's 2026 now.
No, they said that they were making sure because everybody's like commitments and stuff like that have lined up. So they have to get it done this year. And half of it is already done or whatever. Anyways, they said that it was like the way that they're filming it is it's supposed to be every episode is going to be like a blockbuster movie versus like building up to something. Like it'll still build up, but each episode is going to be like really good.
I think is Wednesday coming out soon?
Oh, no, but they're filming it right now. Because they delayed it because they got asked. Remember, they were doing Beetlejuice 2, and Beetlejuice 2 was supposed to be during when they were doing the actor strike. So everything, like, got pushed. I'm excited for that, but it's going to be really funny because, like, the people who play the characters are significantly older now.
Yeah, the one girl's in A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I think that season 2 is supposed to come out. Yeah. The Summer I Turned Pretty is coming back in the summer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it comes out each summer.
It was so funny. I saw this whole thing where everyone was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I can't believe this season's coming out. I'm like, what is this show?
Lauren Graham's in it.
Lauren Graham's in it?
The season.
Oh, I saw her that she was going to be in some TV show where she's supposed to be some like, not like boomer, but like a Gen X who's like, loses her job over something, but then like, or no shit, her job gets like degraded. And then she's in with all these other people and the company gets taken over or something. So it's like, and they're in like one of those like progressive, like what they kind of like usually mirror like Google or like other offices off of, where it's like they're like a bunch of Gen Zs in the dynamics of offices. But it was really funny because you know what it looked like? It looked like just the office portion of Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist.
That's what my brain immediately went to, and I was like, wait, not.
I really liked the first 1 or 2 seasons of that show. It was really great.
I liked the first season, and then I kind of got bored. I think I got bored when it was like, I lose interest when people start to like cheat on each other.
I know. I don't really like stuff like that either.
It also took all of me to watch the show because I think like Zoe's brother or her brother-in-law.
It's her brother.
Is Christopher from Bones. And if anybody watched Bones, you know the anger I would have towards that man. So it was hard to, like, the first couple episodes, and I was like, I just want to punch you in the face.
No, I'm just like, he's going to kill everybody.
Which I know that means that he did his job very well. And he might be a lovely human, and I'm just like, I want to punch you in the face.
Apparently, there is a theory that if they play a really good bad guy, that they're actually one of the nicest people in the whole world.
Oh.
And I was like, really? But I had the same thing. I was just like, I don't like him. But he did such an amazing job at being an asshole. That's like so many people who go up to the guy who played Dan in One Tree Hill. They're like, oh, I don't like you, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I can't believe you did that. He's like, I didn't actually do that to Chad Michael Murray, right? Like
Like, I'm literally, no.
Like, and he's like super nice. And albeit there's like been more stuff that comes out where it really explains like what a nice human being he is. But it's just like, it's funny how we get caught up on stuff like that.
Yeah. And then to an extent, it's just kind of like,
Yeah.
My brain today, I swear I've been fine at talking. I think I haven't been sleeping super well. So, like, my brain just kind of turns out.
Do you want me to do it?
You can go for it.
So today's episode will be about the power of not knowing and how uncertainty can spark innovation and fun. So I know sometimes when you kind of feel like uncertain and everything like that, it's because like you feel like your feet are dangling off the edge of like a really high building, or you feel like you're falling and no one's trying to catch you. And sometimes it's super scary. So a really good example that I know that I can relate to is like when you get laid off, you kind of like are, you don't know where the heck it's going. Say maybe you made all this like great plans and all these ideas and you have everything budgeted down to a T, and all of a sudden they're like, congratulations, you're no longer needed here. Whether it's like a reorg or anything, right? And there's that huge point of uncertainty when it comes to income, job, where you're going and what you need to do and all the things that add up to it. So that can constantly, make you feel like you're lost and that you need help, but also you need to learn how to like flip that, right? Can you think of like another example?
I feel like anything in life, it has its uncertainty. Like when you turn 18 or you graduate high school and it's like, okay, I need to step into the real world, and they make this like big jump, which I like to state. 18-year-old, like round it up to 20. Say you're 20. And like people life expectancy what, 86? Like a quarter of your life is basically just planning for the moment that you're supposed to decide the last like
What they
60 years.
what they make you think is you're planning like you're going to have this one career and this will be until like the end of time, when in hindsight the average person has 5 different careers or like career positions or paths or whatever within their lifetime. But yeah, like the uncertainty of, oh, here I go.
Jumping it in.
Jumping into society here on a different level.
Which I feel like uncertainty doesn't need to be a fear. It's like the cheesy saying of like, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. You're welcome that I just said onto that voice.
I was like, I cannot take this. So obviously, like, you can flip it, look at the positive things. Maybe it was, if I continue the job example, maybe it was a job he didn't really like. Like, maybe it was something that, or maybe you felt stuck and you just needed that, like, universal kick in the butt to kind of move out of it. But there's so many different things that you have to calculate in your brain. So it's like, say, if you have a mortgage or if you're wanting to apply for a house, fun fact, in Canada, unless this part changed, you have to be in a position for 2 years and show a consistent income. So say you were about to finalize a mortgage, that would kind of cause those changes. Or if you just got a new vehicle and accommodated for it. So, and also, it's super hard for anyone who goes through this. But when I was seeing in this, like, there's a lot of folks, obviously, who have a tendency to spiral a bit faster.
I'd also like to state, like, if you've heard us have like some of the conversations we're going to talk about before, like there's only so many ways that saying uncertainty and like pathways that we can kind of relate to.
Yeah.
Like we can't talk about like, I don't know, getting a divorce.
No, I haven't done that. My husband did. I'm the second one. So I can't speak to stuff like that. Just like I can't speak to having more than one child and the uncertainty of certain things like that. I've assisted as being an older sister of 4, but I was never the parent of more than one child.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say that because I know like uncertainty, we talk about a lot like around the same thing. So just so you're aware, you can relate this in any way. It's more about taking the points away than the like literal words.
100%. And there's other forms, obviously, that you can factor in. So like, say, worst comes to where you go for like, there's uncertainty if they look at you one day and they're like, by the way, I think you have ADHD. Would you like to fill out this quiz? And you're like, what the hell is this going to mean for the rest of my life? Or if you're filling it out, say, on behalf of your child and you're like, okay, well, how is this going to change things? What am I going to need to do for these people? And like for like other medical needs and stuff like this, like when Eve is going through her testing for hemochromatosis, it's like, oh, most people don't have this until they're old. And then it was like, congratulations.
I think a lot of like people coordinate uncertainty with like negative emotions,
Yeah.
which I feel like in the past like couple of years I take it more as like opportunity basis. Like when like if you're used to the same routine, like we talked about last week's episode of having a no pressure month and stuff like that, and have an uncertain message of what the method is going to be,
Yeah.
it gives you like more mind space and more opportunity to be creative, to like take those opportunities that you probably wouldn't normally if you were like, oh well, this does not align with my routine, like
Yeah.
I don't want to do this.
I know, like changing out the kind of like, I know obviously there's a lot of worries that go in. Like you can totally rabbit hole and like burn out. You can think of all the things that you wanted to do versus all the things you may be qualified for, and then think of like education. I'm using career as an example just to kind of make it clear. So that can cause like decision fatigue. And then there's like always the FOMO, the fear of missing out. Like, oh, well, I could go get the exact same job that I had before. Do I want to?
You know what I just thought about too? It's like uncertainty is like a group project. You can only control when you can control.
Yeah.
You can't control what everybody else does.
I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to be totally blunt. I hate group projects.
You know, I feel like it gives and it takes. Like, life is a group project.
Life is a group project.
Life is a group. Like, this is a group project.
Yeah.
Our business is a group project. Like, our day-to-day life is a group project. Like, as much as, like, stating I don't like group projects, I don't like it in the school form. I'm not a huge fan of it in daily life with, like, with doing it, like, a defined group. But I feel like life is a team, and you have to make sure that you're like not using and abusing, but like using every player to their advantage.
Yeah.
And like what they're best at doing versus like trying to control everything and then you stress yourself out.
Oh, yeah. I say I don't like group projects because on so many group projects, specifically in the school setting, I would just have the people, I always got paired with the people who were like unmotivated or had other things going on in their life and didn't want to do anything. And I'm like, cool, my entire grade depends on you.
Yeah, I think when that's like the weight of your grades and your marks and stuff like that, those are really frustrating. But I feel like a bit of uncertainty is kind of nice because you're not like, it keeps life fun. Keeps like interesting.
100%. Like there is a lot of magic of not knowing. Like, for example, like say if you start a new hobby and you could be like, I'm going to crochet a blanket. And you're like, okay.
I feel a little targeted, right?
It's not targeted. No, the whole thing is, you're going to crochet a blanket. You can start by crocheting the blanket. That may cause like a lot of frustration and everything like that. But you could also do something like start with a smaller project, like those like little kits that you can get or something. See if there's something that you actually like doing. See if your fingers move that way. Because there's a couple of people who started crocheting that I've figured out that my fingers don't move that way. Or like me, I will attempt it again in the future, but I'm fantastic at making crochet Doritos. Everything I make makes into like, it's literally like a perfect Dorito. But that's the whole thing, is like, you can have something that's going to be start to finish, but you need to like kind of especially if you're learning a new skill, you need to know that it's going to be like, you might start doing it and be like, I don't want to do this. And that's okay.
What do you feel like one of your spontaneous adventures or creative breakthroughs that you felt really uncertain about, and then once you started doing it, you were like, this is great?
Okay, so I will always call myself out. I'm like an over researcher because I'm like, oh my God, am I gonna be able to figure stuff out? And then when it came to like the podcast, for example, I was like, okay, like I know how to do these things so far. Like I can maybe figure out, like I can probably figure out how to edit it. I kind of know like microphones and stuff like that are really good. Like I'll double check to see recommendations, but like ones that I've like visually seen, I have like a photographic mind. I can usually close my eyes and usually figure something out, like where it is or what it was, or think of something so I can find it. But yeah, like I wasn't like, oh, I totally know how to make a podcast. Let's go. I was like, well, I think I have some ideas, and I talked to a couple people. What I always have to like catch myself on though is like either over-educating myself or asking too many opinions. So in like 2024, I just kind of like stopped halfway through the year. unless it was like Eve, because obviously I'm going to ask for her elaboration, because like, especially when it like, unless it pertained to like affecting somebody else, or if it was in conjunction with somebody else, I just stopped asking other people's opinions.
Or like asking permission for like
Yeah.
things. Like I think I remember a couple of times in the past couple of years, when this is not shitting on you, obviously. When Sarah was talking about like, oh well, I asked like and started listing like 4 or 5 people, and I looked at her and I was like, I love you. This is ours. This is not theirs. I don't care. Unless this is like you're asking them because they've experienced it and like what they needed. Like if we talk to another podcast host and we were like, hey, we're having issues with this. Have you thought of anything else? And they give you feedback. It's like a Google search.
Yeah.
But I kind of looked at it and I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
That's not basing my happiness off of like, and I can say that to other people, but like sometimes I can't take my own advice.
I think that's a big thing is like you always have to want to make the leap, and even if it's like a bit scary, it can turn out to be like really good. Like there's a lot of people who have taken those leaps and then made like multi-million-dollar companies because they just kind of lived within uncertainty, and then we're like, okay, well, let's see what happens. And that it leaves your mind open to more like you discover more things, you're able to like learn and grow in different ways. Like constantly doing the same thing over and over again, as it may be comfortable and stuff like that, is like even just like dangling for a bit, it's okay.
I think too, going in with like the uncertainty of the future, you can't go in with expectations of like making money or like being famous or like making millions of dollars and stuff like that, because that's not uncertainty. That's basically putting a bunch of pressure on yourself that like if this thing takes off then it'll help, but like you can't deem what everybody else is gonna do. You can't control them.
Oh yeah.
You can control what like you put out, and if you're proud of it and like you're able to back it up and stuff, then it's more likely to be like, oh my god.
Like for example, for like advertising or like getting the word out there for the podcast, you can watch every single one of those videos that tells you the right and the wrongs of using hashtags and how to promote things on all the different social media forums and getting like really specific about that. Or you can just kind of take like one of those general like overview sheets and be like, okay, well, let me try this. I'll go from here and try this.
But I find like with the podcast and with everything else, it's like you look things up to try to get the information, and then there's so much words. They'll just like clog your brain, and you're like, okay, well, I did this. Like, I know when we were starting out, I was like, oh my god, I did this, and I only got like 1 view. And it was because I accidentally clicked on it. Like, it's never like, it's always like, oh, I'm going to put this out there and putting myself out there.
Yeah.
Not even for judgment, but like, it's just like, oh, okay, let's see like how this is going to happen. And you're like, oh, okay, like, well, I failed.
Well, you can never, like, in aspects when it comes to certain things, especially things that have algorithms, you can never 100% predict an algorithm because at any time it could be changed. And you're like, ooh, what happened there? Because you always have to adapt. So you can never be like, this is exactly what I'm going to do on TikTok as an example. This is exactly what I'm going to do, exactly what I'm going to post, how many times, everything like that. And then this is how it's going to work because I read that podcast that focus on the same type of stuff as us. This is how it hits. That's not the way it works. So if you put stuff out, say at like different times, and then you pull up analytics, then you'll be able to like see when the folks who are finding your stuff are looking. And it's, you are living with uncertainty. You're not living like, I'm going to put this out. This is going to be such a banger, which even I laugh because to be totally honest, you know what really pops up for us? Videos that include beverages.
Oh my god, or random times that I talk about like, well, I talk about coffee or being cozy.
Yeah, coffees and cozies. Apparently, we're just stuck in the C algorithm, but
Apparently.
But that's the whole thing is like there's uncertainty when it comes to that. Or when if you're in school and you're like university and stuff like that and you're training for like a new position, you don't know if you're actually going to be hired when you leave. Like that's not a guarantee.
I think also with like these bigger opportunities and bigger uncertainties, there's little uncertainties that come with it.
Yeah.
Like when we started our podcast, we literally had the name, we had cover art.
Yeah.
We were like, I can figure out how to use GarageBand. We had made a Gmail. We'd made like the social media,
We're like, okay, so we have all the bases and everything kind of like tagged and covered.
but not even that. It took a solid 2 weeks for me to figure out how to get the audio to the world.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there and I was like, oh my God. And then it's like that big red button that you're like, okay, we're going to press the button. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I don't want to. It's like committing to the uncertainty of what's going to happen, which now we're here, like third season.
Yeah.
It's doing great. Happened. One. And you're able to have like, I feel like anytime it's like walking on stage and talking about something you're passionate about to people, like you don't know what's going to hit, what's not going to hit. But if you don't do that, then like, how can you say, oh, well, I'm really passionate about this, but like, I won't talk to other people about it. I'll just sit in my room and read a book, which is not wrong. But like, I would also love to read a book. I think like new projects and like new opportunities, like people will be like, oh, well, like there's a business, I don't know what it's called, and you get like a random destination on where to go. It's like a traveling one.
Oh, see, I'm so old that people just threw darts at the wall.
No, so you don't even plan the trip. So you go to the airport.
Oh.
You go up, you get it in the mail. They send you like your boarding passes of where you're going and your accommodations and everything.
Huh.
And you get on a plane and you go to a random country. Like you set it for how long you want to be there.
Oh,
And like what your average
I've
budget is.
never
What
heard
is?
of this before.
God, I don't know what it's called. And you go and like you spend like a week there of like a random country that you may never have gone to. Sometimes people are like, I'm going to Boston, and they're from like Chicago.
Oh, so oops, it was a
And like it could be cheap, it could not be cheap, like all of the different ones. But like, so there's those ones where it's like you commit to that uncertainty. Some people might not want that. Sometimes it's like, ooh, I'm going to try a different drink. I'm uncertain if I'll like it.
Oh, that was like yesterday when I tried that blackberry sage refresher from Starbucks. And I had the lemonade one. I had to look at it for a sec. So I was like, oh, this is good. Like, it's different. I felt like it was super flavorful, which was really nice. And then our mom had the green tea one this morning. And I'm not gonna lie, I was like, can I have a sip of that? She's like, yeah. And you had made a comment. There'll already be a TikTok out by now, but there you made a comment about how like an earthy tea would be really good. The green tea is like on point with it.
I'm so surprised that our mom and I are on the same level.
Right?
I think a lot of those, like even trying, like we were watching Rummy's vlog this morning and she was like, I get up in the morning for a new coffee creamer. And like, yeah, so that is a very slim, like,
It's very niche.
It's very niche of like coffee creamer. But like uncertainty doesn't need to be like a massive, like I'm going to shave my head and dye my eyebrows purple and I'm uncertain if when my hair's gonna grow back. Maybe I'll never grow back.
I love how you brought hair. It's always like, let's see what color Sarah's hair pulls.
Oh, Zaheim. Or if I'm going to the store, I'm uncertain. Well, actually, I could talk about what happened today because I'm really happy. So, if you listened to last year's episode, I don't know when this was. I want to say it was like in maybe April of last year. I had used a grocery delivery service, and it did not go well. It really did not go well.
Oh no, it went full sideways.
It went full sideways. Please listen if editing Sarah can please link to the past audio of this one. I don't remember what it's called. Maybe I'll look it up and I'll
I think
send it
it's
to
an
you.
opinions one. Unpopular opinions? Ugh,
Maybe.
I can do my best to try to find it.
If you can't find it, just listen to the whole season. You'll find it. And I was so frustrated. And to me, I was like, I'm never gonna do this again. I was so livid. And I was like, yesterday, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it another opportunity because I can't be a one and done. Like that's a little rude. What if it was just a bad day? So I made an order yesterday, got delivered today. Everything was placed. No rotten vegetables. Everything came. It was lovely. Everything was frozen still. It was great. 10 out of 10.
Well, and that's the whole thing is like when you're making orders like that online, you are taking like when you make any order online, to be totally honest, there's always that you may think that you're getting a very certain thing, but there is a huge chance of uncertainty. Like, it'll range anywhere from, it'll come on February 15th to it's coming tomorrow. And you're like, whoa, what?
Which exciting thing. And this is a shout out to any business that makes basic matching hoodies and sweatpants.
Oh, yeah.
Like colors. So we were looking for a royal purple and like a cobalt royal blue sweat set. Which in the near months you'll see mine.
Yeah.
And I was looking everywhere. This doesn't need to be a fancy one. We weren't like fancy. We just wanted like color coordinated tops and bottoms. We went on all of the different blank websites. We went on all the different things. Nobody had the same sweaters or the same sweatpants in dark blue and dark purple.
Oh, yeah, no. And it was so random because it's not like those are obscure colors. Like, you could find one or the other. And we were just like, oh, and we've done this before. Like, we've like rabbit hole zoned out and looked at this stuff before. And I was like, I think this is what. Another thing that we always have to factor in is that we are tall. I am 5'10". Eve stated that she is under 5'10" in the last episode.
No, I am 5'10".
Oh, no, wait. You're half an inch taller than me.
I just know I'm 5'10". I'm not 5'9".
Oh, okay. And so we're sitting there, and I had the same kind of scenario happen when we were doing the charity baseball thing with my husband. We were looking for a yellow shirt for him. And it was like, well, I guess I'm not finding one. He's like, yeah, I guess I'll just wear whatever. But there always is an alternative, even though if you're out there looking for something. And Eve, what did you do?
I bought white ones.
And we're just going to dye them?
We're going to use red dye, which maybe if I remember, I will make a TikTok about it. Our socks came today because I wanted matching socks, which I got the like Aritzia. It was like, they were like yellow package and I couldn't still see.
The funny thing is that she's like, oh my God, I bought these socks because they're supposed to be like Aritzia dupe socks. She pulls them out. I'm like, I literally bought the socks.
They were okay. I haven't.
They're not super warm, but they are very stretchy.
Oh,
they're tight when you first wear them, though.
For an exciting project that we were going to work on in the next like couple of months, see how it goes. But I was so I looked everywhere, all Canadian businesses in general.
And we looked at like all the blanks ones, the ones that you can order stuff from. We even looked on the manufacturers that we work with for Overwhelm the Label. Like, we looked everywhere you could possibly look, and it was like finding a unicorn. Like, you couldn't find. I even was like, I'll just wear pink. And then I was like, even though our colors are like blue and purple and stuff like that, like maybe we can look at other colors. Nope, still could not find exact matching things. And it's not like our budget was extreme or anything, but it was like, seriously, why is this so hard to find?
And like, I was looking because I was just like, oh, maybe I can find a coupon. Like, there was some that were like $200 for a set. And I was like, is there much color? No. There's these different colors. Also, to people making basic colors, can we not just do like the same beige but like slightly grayer?
Yeah, I know it was so many things, or things would be sold not as a set, but sold individually. And then it was like, well, this is done by this brand, but the pants are made by this other brand. So you know that they're going to be off.
Well, and we just wanted like the same matching style so that we could like, I don't know. It's good to have like those basics, even though we wear very basic clothing. But I was like, oh my God, this will be so much fun.
I know it was pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, like, we went out there, we looked for the opportunity. The opportunity wasn't there, and that was like I did the same thing for the baseball. For the charity baseball thing, is I was like, oh, and this is literally I was like looking at the rack of like the low cost t-shirts that are at like Walmart, the cotton ones, and I was like, oh, they only have neutrals. And I was like, geez, I wish our colors were white. And then literally that point I went, Sarah, what are you doing with your life? And I was like, grab them. And my husband's like, what are you doing? And I was like, 1 sec, I'm going to run to the craft section. And literally dye was so cheap. It was like $5.97. I grabbed 1 bottle of dye, dumped it in, and dyed the shirts. And then I had bought these other shirts, but they were almost like washed. So that way they had white on them. I'm just going to dye them all the same yellow. Stuck them all in. I ended up dyeing, I think it was 5 shirts in total, and it cost me $5.97 to do that. But I'd found the other shirts, they were like ridiculously on sale at like Winners or something randomly, and they had all these different sizes, and I think they were like $5. So in the end, it was like, oh, they didn't have exactly what I wanted, which I get very stuck on that. I'm very much that person who's like, but if I want it to be the exact same color that I'm thinking of. Like,
But
when I was a
also-
kid, I was, like, super neurotic about, like, the Halloween costumes. Like, if I was gonna be Snow White, the colors had to be correct.
But also, it felt like I'm spending the money to purchase, like, a sweat set. I don't wanna spend, like, if they have one of the colors that I want and it's, like, $50 for a set,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna buy 2 light ones because they don't have the other color.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what color they come out. I'm excited. They haven't been delivered yet. They're coming in the next, like, couple weeks.
Yeah.
Who knows, actually, though? Because everything tells me that it's gonna be coming in a couple weeks, and then it came today.
Oh, yeah, that was, like, I ordered a present for my sister-in-law, and it was supposed to come in 1 package, and then I was advised it was coming in 2 packages, and next thing you know, it came over a course of 3 days. But the exciting thing is she loved it because every day she got a little bit of something around her birthday, and her birthday was right in the middle of the 3 days that it was going on. She's like, "It's great." It's like every day I come home, like, "Ooh, present from Sarah."
Which is great. I feel like that I love the little, like, you know what's great is when you forget that you buy something and then it comes and you're like, "Oh my god." Like, today I forgot, like, I bought our dogs food and I was like, "Oh my god, this is great." And then I picked it up and I was like, "What is this? It's so heavy." And it had, like, 3 different, like, stickers that said heavy, and I was like, "I can carry 3 boxes."
Oh my
then."
goodness. Well, that's the funny thing is, like, there's so many different things and stuff like that happen. Like, there's uncertainty when it comes to quality of things, how long things last. I love when people are like, "I'm gonna buy this white button-up shirt and it is gonna last me 10 years." I'm like, it might not, because of, like,
Armpit stains.
not armpit stains. I'm a spilly person. Food, beverages, everything. I will spill it everywhere. Or even, like, get accidentally be washed one day and turn pink.
Yeah.
Like, there is that uncertainty out there, so you can purchase something. Just do it, and maybe just don't put so much, like, weight on it, I think, is the biggest thing, and making sure that you keep your mind open to what the potential is, like Eve said at the beginning. Like, it may really suck, and you can embrace the suck. And you can go through the whole, like, grieving mess of all the stuff, but try not to get, like, lost in the dark despair side, because uncertainty can bring, like, so many things in your direction.
I feel like you also have to take responsibility for timelines, too.
Yeah.
Like, if you're purchasing, I don't know why wedding dresses came into my brain.
Oh, yeah.
It's, I think probably because I was watching Scariest the dress. If it's like, okay, my wedding's in 3 months and I'm going to buy my wedding dress, and it's like, my wedding dress doesn't fit. It's like, well, if you knew you were getting married months ago, like year ago, and you bought it,
Yeah.
like, maybe take into the consideration for that.
Oh, 100%. And then it's like, if you did all your homework, if you planned everything accordingly to, like, what was going on and all the other stuff, there is a certain level of uncertainty, but you should be, like, comfortable with your decision and comfortable with each individual choice that you're making. Comfortable, but, like, obviously with uncertainty, there comes some uncomfortable parts, but usually it's not, like, agonizingly uncomfortable.
And, like, uncertainty doesn't mean, like, causing hurt or pain to people.
Oh, yeah.
It means, like, it's those, like, little things in life where it's like, oh, well, I wasn't certain about what I was making for dinner, and then I found a coupon.
Yeah.
Woo!
Well, and that's the whole thing. And then there's also just, like, the whole factor of, like, playing it safe versus, like, having that moment where you feel uncomfortable, but still kind of going forward with something that you're excited about and not doubting, like, that excitement or that drive towards that. Yeah, just know that, like, uncertainty comes and goes. It comes in tiny forms, it comes in gigantic forms, and all the other stuff. So, just keep having fun, do what works best for you, and stay as warped and twisted as ever. Peace.
We've laughed, we've learned, it's been a ride, but the conversation doesn't have to hide. Tune in next week, same time, same place. We'll be right here, ready to embrace. Every Monday we've got something new. Life's unpredictable, but we're staying true. Through the ups and downs, we'll be here to guide. Come back next week, we'll be right by your side. Burnt out perfectionists, we've got so much to say. Real, raw, and ready to talk today. We'll be back next Monday with more in store. catch you then, we're always here for more.